Hi there! Did you know that you can enjoy your best life in super health and live a long, healthy life even though you have high blood pressure or you've been diagnosed with hypertension? On this video, I'm going to be sharing with you the 3 steps to a long, fulfilling, enjoyable life, which is actually the theme of the World Hypertension Day, May 17, 2022. Simply measure your blood pressure correctly, control it, and live longer. And so on this video, I'm going to be breaking down exactly what these 3 phrases mean for you. And once you follow these 3 phrases, you will live longer. Welcome back to my channel. This is Pharmacist Chibwamami Ilechukwu, also known as the Hypertension Manager, founder of Hypertension Africa, where we help you to achieve and maintain perfect blood pressure control every single day, and to reverse stubborn high blood pressure so that you can live your best life in super health without everyday drugs. If you're enjoying this kind of video, make sure that you hit the like button and subscribe and hit the notification button so you always get notified once we drop educational video. All right, so today let's talk about measure your blood pressure correctly. Now, this is a huge one because for most people, you don't even know what it means to measure correctly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you practically how to measure correctly. There are some rules of thumb or best practices. And this best practices means, number 1, your blood pressure at rest. It's not enough to say, oh, I checked my blood pressure, but I was running or I didn't rest. Then that's not your normal blood pressure. That's not at rest. So what you really want to do is measure at rest. And another best practice that you must do is to write it down. This is extremely important. If you have high blood pressure, you have no reason to say, oh, I checked last week, I can't really remember. And even if you feel like you've got a very sharp memory, you still have to write it down. This singular habit can save your life. I'm going to link to other videos in the description of this comment as well that we have shot around tracking your blood pressure, what to include, which includes, of course, like the date, the time, multiple readings, and then comments as to what you're experiencing. Even when you're trying to reverse high blood pressure, you have to be tracking very closely. And if you feel like you're getting very good numbers, you want to get off medications, for instance, you still want to be tracking, because that's when you know whether what you're doing is working or whether what someone has sold you is actually working. So let's talk about best practices to measuring high blood pressure correctly, because the key word there is correctly. So number 1, have a home monitor. So here is my home monitor. You can get any brand that you like, but I personally have the Omron. Best practices: remove your batteries. So you fit in your batteries. When you're done, time to measure. For best practices, you should be sitting on a chair that allows you to rest your back upright, in an upright manner. Then your arm, ideally check with your left arm. Now your left arm should be free. So whatever your jewelry is, wristwatch should be free. If it's tight, you might have to lose it. If you have rings, you have to pull them. If you have tight rings, you have to pull them off. Then, so once it's free, and then if you have tight clothing, it's best to pull up. If it's very tight and it looks like it's obstructing blood flow, you might have to do it on a different clothing. If you're not able to pull up, so for instance, you're checking in a pharmacy, then you might have to, I know some people have to check on top of the clothing, but that's not best practices. Even if they do that or just adapt for you, at that point, it's not best practices. What I'm showing you is best practices, which means you should do it on your bare arm. So you just pull up your clothing for a bit and then pass the cuff. Now the cuff should, let me take this down a bit. The cuff should go in this way, and when it goes in, this particular cord should be sitting just in between, just above your elbow, and then you wrap this up. It shouldn't be extremely tight. It shouldn't be extremely tight or anything. So this is it. So now that it is, now ideally you should have a surface where you can rest your arm. And your arm should be resting. Your arm should be resting at your chest level, right? Also, your machine should be resting at the same chest level. So this is what this looks like. Arm machine, chest level. So everything is about chest level, you know, your heart level, and then you take the reading. And then this arm, make sure that it is open, like facing up and open, not fisted or anything, facing up and resting. And then you press it. You do your start. Now, while taking your readings, your foot should be separate and flat on the floor, like this. And so now that you're done with the readings, you take the readings. So I'm done with my first reading. You can see the green buttons, and then it says what, 90 over over 59, and my pulse is 87. I know my blood pressure can be really crazy at times, and I can get readings like this, but this is usually my normal this is what my normal range is. And you can see something about this Omron, guys. The moment this is above 130, it goes red or amber color. The moment this is above 90 or 85, it goes red or amber color, telling you, oh, you know, alarm. So whatever you get, now the next task is to write it down on a jotter, in a jotter, designated jotter, or you can get a BP transformation tracker. That's what we give our high BP reversal clients so they can record on it. So ideally, this whole process, you repeat it for 3 consecutive times. The reason you're doing multiple readings is you want to know where the blood pressure actually lies. You don't want to be doing readings and feeling like, oh, I got a good reading. Meanwhile, next one could be actually be lower or it could be higher. So you do a third one. The third one would actually be closer to either the first or the second. If it's closer to the second, that tells you that's where your range lies. So you do at least 2 times, but basically we recommend you do 3 times and write them down. And then if you have any comments like, oh, I was stressed, or I didn't sleep well at night, or I took my medicines, or oh, I skipped this particular one today because of this, you write it down in your comments, right? So this is how you check your blood pressure, measure your blood pressure, and record it correctly. So now that we're done with measuring your blood pressure correctly, let's talk about controlling it. Now, this is where a lot of people struggle. Yes or no? Like, okay, yeah, I do all that. Everything measuring, I'm getting all right. But how about controlling it? That's where you're probably dropping the ball. So for controlling your blood pressure, they're basically, like if we want to just share it into 2, would say you're either using drugs to control it, or you are using your lifestyle to control it, basically, or, you know, what people call natural methods. So if you're using drugs to control it, basically what you want to do is whatever drugs that you have been given by your doctor, take it every single day. Make sure that you don't skip a day. All right, as far as the BP reading is above 140 over 90, 130 over 90, take your drugs. Also, it's important at this point to state that your goal at all times is to ensure that you're getting numbers less than 140 over 90. Big goal. Now, once you're hitting this goal, you are okay, according to the World Health Organization. Now, but if you decide that I'm tired of everyday drugs, somehow it's not sitting well with me, maybe you're having a lot of complications, you know, setting in from poor BP control, maybe you're having adverse effects as well to the drugs, maybe chest pains, chest tightness, headaches, constant headaches, swellings of the feet, palpitations, always tired, not able to concentrate at work, and all that crazy stuff, right? And you're feeling like this drug is not working for me. I want something else. I want something more. Now, what you really want to do is to raise your lifestyle game to be able to equate what your drugs is doing for you. And if it can even do more for you than your drug is doing for you, guess what? It means that you are actually on the path to reversing high blood pressure. And of course, that's where we come in, Hypertension Africa. Our goal is to help you to reverse it naturally using a concerted, lifestyle-based high BP reversal method, which when you use, basically it would help your body to heal itself. And when your body heals itself, you're able to get very good numbers, even as good as before you started having high blood pressure. And with that, you would start to get off the medication safely because the same doctor would be able to pull off your medicines. So how do you control it? Basically, just make your choice. Like, oh, I want to go the drug route, or I want to make sure that I can reverse it. If you said yes to reversal, get a check in the description of this video. We actually have a webinar, which is another video training, very in-depth, that explains how to, there's a 3 steps There are 3 steps to high BP reversal. So it starts with your mind, then it works on your body, and then it ensures you have freedom going forward. Make sure you check in the description of this video to watch that, to register for the webinar and watch it. And then you have other resources that will help you to achieve the results in as short as 30 days, or as long as 90 days from now. You decide, but get that. Okay, so but control, you must control it. Whatever method you choose, ensure that your BP is always less than 140/90. And that brings us to the third phrase. The third phrase is, you will live longer. Now, according to the World Health Organization, the #1 cause of death, of premature death, of strokes, of heart attack, and of other cardiovascular accidents is uncontrolled high blood pressure, which means that if you fail on this second part of controlling your blood pressure, you won't be able to live longer. And it's not really fair to your loved ones. It's not fair to you as a person. It's not fair to your destiny, for your purpose here on earth, if you allow high blood pressure, which which you're seeing us talk about on this video, which your doctor has mentioned to you, which we all know is #1 killer disease. It's not fair to everyone looking up to you that you allow it to make you not live longer. So if you want to live longer, you've got to measure your blood pressure correctly. You've got to control it so that you can live longer and enjoy your best life in super health. So as a recap, we've said measure correctly, and in addition to that, track. Make sure you're writing down in a book. You could get a book, you could get a jotter. Maybe what I can do is to also link your resource. Let me know in the comments, would you love to get our resource, our PDF downloadable track sheets, where you actually just go print it out and record your readings, so that you can always use that to go for your doctor's review or use it at home, personal use. Let me know if you love to get that. We can link it in the description of this video, and then so you can live longer. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, and if you like more stuff around this, bye.